Hey everyone, I'm Stacia Smilek, and I have the wonderful Senior Executive Director, Bekah Yawn, with me. So, as you guys are all coming in, we're going to go ahead and give you guys a minute to get in and let everything get going. We're so thrilled to have all of you with us today. It's Monday, March 9th, and we are in the midst of a really exciting month, not just because it's a recruiting promotion, but it is a big recruiting promotion. And you all are in such tremendous growth mode. And it is our birthday celebration. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary this year, birthday, whatever you want to call it. So there is so much excitement happening at Pampered Chef. We thought, what better time to talk about supporting not just your new consultants, and we're going to talk about that a little bit, but really supporting those new recruiters on your teams, because we know with an incentive like this, the growth that we're in and the excitement that's happening, that everybody wants to be sharing the opportunity now, and everybody should be. There's no better time than now to get out there and to start building a team. So I'm really thrilled. Bekah's organization is in their second month qualifying for a national executive organization. And I know they're going to blow it out of the water. So I thought there could not be anyone more perfect to talk with us today. So Bekah, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
And I think we are even more excited to have you. So let's, without further ado, Bekah's got a baby asleep in the other room, so we are going to roll right into this. I would love to know, first and foremost, Bekah, how do you help your team members who are new to recruiting? How do you help them learn to recruit or start sharing the opportunity in their virtual parties?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is I coach them on what I do. And so what I personally do in my parties is I love to plant a recruiting seed with my hosts at least every other day in the parties. So before the pre-party begins, I offer for my host to flip their party. So I'll say something, especially in a month like this, I'll say, hey, just wanted to give you the opportunity to still have your party, but for you to make the money on it instead of me. On average, I make $100 each party that I do, and you can join my team for only $19. So would you like to make that switch? And so I'll say something like that. And if they still are a no, I'll say, hey, we'll keep munching on the idea in case you change your mind, because you never know. And then that gives me the opportunity to continue asking them. So a couple days later, I just let them know how much fun their show is and how their friends love Pampered Chef and how they could really do this. And I'm just boosting their confidence. And then a couple days later, I share the kit credit with them. And in a month like this, I would share, if they've already earned $300 or $400 in guest sales, I would say, hey, like, you can now join my team for free from the free product that you have earned so far. And I do let them know that any bookings that they get from the party will be theirs. And then the next day, I do give my host whatever special it is to join for the month, if there is a special, or I have them post about the Fast Track Awards if there's not a recruiting special for the month. And I ask them to post it as a Q&A for the parties. So the words that I give them to say are like, wow, can't you guys tell that Bekah loves her Pampered Chef business? This is so much fun. She's letting me give you guys 50 tickets for each question you ask about what it's like being a consultant. And then I tag the host in a comment asking them to ask the first question, like, hey,
Very cool.
Stacy, can you kick us off with the first question? And that's kind of like subliminally, making them think about it. I didn't take that. Steve came up with that. So then I really try to nail them down before the party closes to join. Sorry. These allergies. Okay. So I just really try to nail them down. Like on the last day of the party, I'm like, dude, you have seriously been so amazing. You've been posting everything, commenting. I know you could be awesome at this. Like, seriously, why not just try this with me for 30 days? And even right before the party is about to close, I say, hey, once I submit it, like, there's no going back. Are you sure you don't want to use that kit credit? And so, yeah. And then I also, so with all of these things, your original question was, how do you help team
Yeah.
members? So I put what I do in an outline or a script so that my team members can follow and duplicate what I am doing. I found that that really is what boosted our team and organization success, was when I started being extremely transparent with what I do to be successful in my parties, so that others can like see what I do and make it their own and follow those same steps, like with making it their own, and then they can be successful too.
That's such great advice. I love the authenticity there, and really helping your team members take the success that you're having and those best practices, but really make them their own. And in light of that, I know so many of you are going to ask, can we have your outline? We are not going to provide Bekah's outline for what she shares with her team, because really the idea is for you guys to duplicate the success you're having within your own teams. So take that idea of outlining what is it that you do with your hosts to share the opportunity, and how are you sharing the opportunity in your virtual parties, and just outline that for your consultants and share within your own organization. And you guys will for sure see that authentic, organic success grow. Right, Bekah?
Oh yeah, for sure. I use a Google Doc, by the way. If you're like, how do I do that? I just do it on Google Docs and I share that.
I love that. That's awesome. So what systems, because that's one, a great system, and who better to learn from in your organization than you, what systems does your team have in place then to help support organizational recruiting?
Yeah, so there's a function on Facebook called units. So like if you go to a Facebook group, you can set it up as a social learning group, I guess. I'm not a Facebook guru, but you can do this. And you can make a unit section for learning. And so we set up units on our organizational page to help with onboarding new consultants. So I'm just going to kind of like breeze through what our units look like so that you can get some ideas for what you can make your own unit page look like on your org groups. So our unit 1, it includes me doing a welcome video for the new consultants, just quick 2 minutes. And then I did a video about the Fast Track Awards, how to make the Pampered Chef party link for the host, and how to make a Facebook group for parties, because we do groups because we use the posting service. We don't want them to do events. Unit 2 has all the nitty and gritty for our organization's party setup and systems. So we provide an example for training for how to track contacts with a sample weekly contacts tracker. I share that tips document for the party that includes the recruiting verbiage and then just some daily steps to do for what I do in the party. So, you know, I'm pretty successful with my parties. And so I figure, like, if I'm sharing what I'm doing, why can't others be successful? And I can't tell you how many people I've had message me or say to me, Bekah, thank you so much for sharing what you do, because I just signed up and I followed this tips document and I had an amazing party. So it's really great to just take an hour to write out what you do and share that with your teams. Anyways, we also share with them how to use our posting service, and how to get our group set up with our posting service and connect that, how to add a prize onto someone's order, past host discount, how to close a party. I record videos of myself talking through Zoom, and then I download the video and briefly write about it as a post in the unit. I basically do this for any common questions I get from new consultants. I just try to make it a point to set that up in units, because you know how it is when you get people asking you the same questions over and over, and it's going to drive you up a wall. That's when you make something in units, and if they ask you the question, say, oh, did you see that in unit 2? And that's all you have to say. So
what are some of those frequently asked questions that you get from your newbies?
A lot of like what's already in there. So like, how do I add on a prize to someone's order? What's this past host discount? What's a future party pick? Like, you know, all like, how do I connect this, and this? And so any of those things, you know, I try to put in units, how to close the party, even though like that takes 20 seconds, but sure. Okay. I'll make a 20-second video to show you how to do that. Cause
yeah. And the first time's always tricky. So it's sometimes people are more visual. I think that's awesome. And I do know a little trick with that. If you've already got a group set up and it's not a social learning group, you can go in and edit. If you're the administrator of your group, you can edit and make it a social learning group, because I just had to do this with one of my groups, and then you can start to do units. So if you don't have that yet, don't panic. Right. You don't have to start from scratch. You can go in and just make that adjustment.
Yes, yes, yes. And then we have a final unit for recruiting. And so I'll share posts with documents for recruiting verbiage, overcoming objections, and then also our script for training new consultants. So.
Awesome. So that's a great segue into my next question, because I love the support that you have for your organization and organizational recruiting. That seems like it's so simple and streamlined. So let's talk onboarding and getting those new consultants started strong. What is your system for getting them going?
Yeah. Well, typically I have a 30-minute coaching call with my new consultants within 24 to 48 hours of them signing. And I use that script. It's our own, but it was really inspired by our national executive director, Donna Landy, the Pampered Chef. And so I direct them to contact me once they have their first party booked after I've done their training call. And then I just direct them to units. I don't have another call with them typically. So I just direct them to units because it's all set up and all laid out on there for them to be successful. But we are doing things a little bit different in March. So I don't know if you want to know.
Yeah, things are a little different this month. Let's talk, what kind of communication do you have with them after that initial call? Because certainly you're not just done with them after that first 30-minute call.
Right. Yeah. So after the 30-minute call, it's basically just giving them the grounds to get bookings. Like get their why, get bookings, and they got to go get bookings because really, truly, I can't help them if they don't have bookings on their calendar. So that's all that it's about. It's like baby step training. I don't like to like tell them, I'm not going to train them how to use the posting service. I'm not going to train them how to do a party because if they don't have a booking, I'm wasting my time and their time. And so I'm training them to do 4 parties a week, go get this parties on their schedule, get 3 to 4 to start off for next week, and message me when they have their first party booked. And then what I do, and this is also in my new consultant training script, is I have like paragraphs of what to send them once they send me certain things. So when they tell me, hey, I got my first party booked, I have it as a text replacement in my phone, which is on the script, to share with them, okay, great, go to unit 1, watch this, this, and this, and message me in all caps when you're done. So then they say, okay, here's my party link. Okay, great. And then I send them the next text replacement, which is about getting their party connected with our posting service and template. And so it's just like through Messenger, like supporting them that way.
Okay, so yeah. You kind of alluded to this a minute ago. In a month like March, where things are a little different and it's not a normal recruiting month, how are you helping your team members support this kind of recruiting?
Yes. So, my goodness, when I learned about this special, I was like, okay, here we go. So with this consultant special, I really believe our organization is going to anticipate 300 new team members this month. Ooh. And so to help with that huge influx of new consultants, our director team is doing group onboarding calls to help their personal recruits and personal team recruits to get their new people started strong. We're training via our same script that we always use, and we're doing 2 calls a week for the entire organization. And it's the recruiter's responsibility to be on the call with them and to follow up and support their new team member. But that's what we're doing to help the load of new consultants, to help all of us save time and maximize that effort.
So if I'm a director in your organization, I'm taking the script and I'm leading the call. And then anyone who has recruited someone new in my team invites their new consultant, and then I attend as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. And it's for our whole organization. So, we're all helping each other out. It's great. It's awesome.
So great. And what kind of success are you seeing from the new consultants in those who are participating in those calls?
Well, it's very new. We've just been doing it for the last week and a half, but so far so good. I mean, I know my new recruits have been in there, and I've been following up with them, and they're pumped and excited just as normal. So it is really great to be able to kind of share that load with our director team.
And talk about what kind of feedback are you or what kind of follow-up, not feedback, are you then coming in with the new consultant? So if I'm not the one who led the call, but I was on with my new consultant, then what kind of direction are you giving me, the director on your team, to follow up with my new consultant?
Oh yeah. Well, first off, you should be on the call with them, but if you weren't able to check in and say, hey, were you on the call? Did you get to make it? So see where they actually on the call, tell me what you think, and then say, okay, great. So how's it going sending out your first 30 messages a day to get bookings? And so just following up on the bookings and then just doing what you would normally do. So, okay, great. So message me once you get your first parties booked. Our goal is to get 3 to 4 that start on Monday. And then just keep rocking and rolling.
Good. So the overall 30-minute call is happening in a group setting, but really the follow-up and the one-on-one coaching is still continuing in the same manner, working individually.
Right.
Awesome. I love that. And I know another great tool that we've got available, especially one that you want to utilize in months like this, is Dash. So Bekah, let's talk a little bit transparent about Dash and how have you utilized Dash?
Oh yeah. So to be super duper honest with y'all, I have not utilized Dash to its best extent yet. Big yet in big caps. Okay. However, we're starting to really utilize that with our team members immediately when they get signed up. And so our director team, we kind of like look through, we're like, okay guys, we got to start utilizing this because this is a phenomenal system and training program that Pampered Chef has set up for us, and we need to utilize it to the max. So on one of our, we have like weekly director coffee chats, we were like, okay, let's go through Dash. Let's see, what is this that they're actually doing? And so we saw that asking our new recruits to take the welcome and getting started course in Dash is perfect before the first training call. And so we're having our new consultants, you know, right away when they sign up, we're saying, okay, go to Dash, take the welcome and getting started. It should take like 30 minutes and then let me know when you're done with that. And then we get them on their first call because that's going to set them up with all the basics and essentials. And then it's going to help us as recruiters to know, where is this person at? And it is such useful information because it helps us to know, like, is this person just in this for some fun money, or is this person like telling me on Dash that I want to be a director? So heck yeah, I better be in there and looking at our new recruits' responses to this.
I love that. I love that you're integrating that in with your call system. I think that's perfect and what it's intended for. What have you found to be the most valuable part of Dash as you've just started using it?
I think it saves a lot of time because it goes through the things that you would normally do with them on a call, or you would be messaging them to find out. It's all there for you. And so when they go and do it, you literally just have to go and read it and see what they say. And it's awesome because immediately before I've even gotten on a phone call with someone, I can identify who's a possible director based off of their responses on their whys and their income goals.
I love that. How have you been able to use this added knowledge, which is right at your fingertips, to help guide them to their goals? I send voice clips like on Facebook Messenger. And so as I'm kind of like looking through Dash and I see like, ooh, Misty said she wants to recruit people and she wants to earn a bunch. I'm like, hey, Missy. And because I want her to hear my voice and I want her to hear my excitement. So I send her a little voice clip and I just share with her, wow, I saw all your goals on Dash. This is so exciting. I can't wait to help you reach all of your income goals and to help you blah, 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 like with whatever her why was. I'm so excited. Did you get your first party book? Tell me what's going on. How can I help you? And so I love sending voice clips because it's so personal and they love it too. Like I'll send voice clips all day to them and they're like, I really like these voice clips. They're really helpful. And so I'm a big person on voice clips. So I just kind of, you know, I make it personal to whatever it was and send that. That's so great. What a great way to utilize that information that they're kind of going through and doing on their own because we're driving them into Dash consistently from home office to give you information to have to utilize in whatever way you can. I think that's a really creative way to use that. So in a month with a larger number of new consultants coming in, what, if anything, do you do differently to support these new consultants? I know we just talked about this group training call, but what else are you doing?
So I always have it as a daily task to check in on my new team members to support them. And that stays the same in a month like this. I'm looking for my next directors with every single team member that I add. So I'm diligent. I'm not perfect, but I'm diligent to check in with them and motivate them daily or every other day. And that's through Facebook Messenger. I do everything through Facebook Messenger. And I did do something a little bit different on top of this because I have a huge goal for personal recruiting this month, and it's hard to keep everyone straight when you recruit like 5, 10, 15, 20 people. Like, who did I even recruit? What have they done? I don't know. So I just did something, wow, I did it on paper and pen that I never do. And I literally, I numbered out how many people that I want to recruit this month that fit on the sheet, which is 25. So we'll see if it happens, whatever. Go big, right? And then I'm literally just putting in their name, and I have three little check boxes. And the first check box is for when they do dash. I'm going to check that off. The second check box is for did they attend the call. The third check box is for do they have parties set up for their first week. Okay, because I know if they have all three of those things, I have done what I need to do to support them, like, well, and they're going to either fly or they're going to sink. And I'm looking for how can I help make sure that they fly? So super simple.
Love that. Super simple. I mean, literally a piece of scratch notebook paper would do the trick. And I think that's great. In a month like this, we don't have time for, to create a new system, and nor do you need to. It can be a simple checklist in your planner or whatever works for you. Now, I love that you're checking in with them daily, because we know new consultants, they want a relationship with you. They want to communicate with you. What kind of little things are you messaging them throughout? I mean, not every day, but what are you sending them?
Well, if I notice, if they've like gotten their parties booked and stuff, I'm just like helping support them. I have them add me to their parties so that I can be a fly on the wall and observe and look. And I just do show-based coaching. I just like look through and I can see, are they following my script or not? And I just call them out if they're not. And then for the people who are just like dragging their feet on getting their parties booked, sometimes I'll throw out a little thing of like, hey, haven't heard from you, but just wanted to throw out something fun because I know you're probably crazy busy, but how about this? Can you contact 50 people in the next 48 hours and send me a picture of your contacts tracker, and I'll mail you a new spring product. Let me know if you want some help with verbiage, even though they should already know what verbiage is because they've been on the call, but like, let's just get this going. And so sometimes that helps kick people into gear.
A lot of people need a little extra boost.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's so great. So what are your top tips for getting new consultants started strong?
Top tips for getting new consultants strong. Okay. So 4 shows a week. That's going to get you big things in this business. And so that's what I train all my new consultants for. It's the pace that I set for everyone to strive for. Now, not everybody does it, but the people who do are the ones I'm looking to be my next directors.
Absolutely.
And so I know some people might say like, oh, 4 shows a week, I don't want to do that. And so if they tell me that, I tell them why they will do it. So I just explain, listen, how much, well, first I ask like, how much time per day do you have to devote to this? If they tell me they have an hour or 2 a day, they can do 4 shows a week. And so, because basically, you can expect for about each party per week that you do, you're going to spend 10 to 20 minutes a day on this. And I explain that to them. And so I'm like, you can do 4 shows a week. And here's the other thing is we encourage you. We want you to book 4, but in reality, you're going to run and close 3 good parties because one of those 4 is going to drop or flop. And it's really discouraging as a new consultant if you only book 1 show a week to have those shows be your drop or flops. Like it's not fun. So like you want to have fun, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So let's do 4 shows a week. Let's just try it for your first 30 days. And if you absolutely hate it, which I don't think you will, because you're going to be making a lot of money and earning that income that you told me you wanted to make, you can do what you want after that. Wow. And so I kind of tell them nicely what they're going to do. I explain it a little bit more
with them and really set a baseline for reality, but then coach them through it as well. I think that's so important. So if you could tell, as we wrap things up today, if you could tell a new recruiter anything to help keep them from feeling overwhelmed, what would your advice be to somebody who's just starting to build a team or share the opportunity?
Yes, I remember how it felt for when I was first recruiting. I had no idea what I was doing. And it took me a long time to figure it out. So give yourself grace first and know that like you're not going to know what you're doing, but that's the beautiful thing about it. The biggest thing is just take baby steps with your new team members. Take it 1 day at a time. Get them started in Dash. Get them going with the welcome and getting started courses. Look at their responses. Get on the phone with them and help them book parties. That's it. Okay. I tell my new recruits to send 30 messages a day for parties until they get 4 shows a week on their calendar for 6 weeks straight. And like I said, sometimes if I have a newbie dragging their feet, I'll, do some wahoo about like, send this amount of contacts, send me a picture of your contacts, and I'll send you a new spring product. So just take it one step at a time. Just focus on those things. And the people who will step up and do it are the ones you want to keep working with. And those who don't, go recruit more people who will.
So true. I love it, Bekah. Thank you so much for all of this amazing information, all of your tips and sharing your systems. We've got time, I think, for just a couple of questions. And if you've got questions, please put those in the Q&A. I have that pulled up and we'll run through just as many as we can in our time remaining. So here's a good question. Do you run into situations where the new recruit and or the consultant they've recruited isn't flexible with scheduling or showing up for the onboarding call? So maybe they can't make that group call, but scheduling something outside of your office hours.
Well, typically, I mean, the group calls it's a new thing that we're doing. So we have 2 a week. We have one on Monday evening and Saturday early morning. So if they tell me Saturday it's too early, I'm like, it's just one time. Suck it up. Yeah. And Monday night, like, you just have to make it work one time. And so that's kind of what I'm sharing with them. But usually, I don't know, I've never really had an issue with consultants getting on a call with me.
Okay. On your little checklist that you made for this month, what were your 3 check boxes for again? Can you repeat?
Okay, the first one is dash. And in my brain, that means they did the welcome and getting started. And then the second one is, did they get on a call? One of the new consultant training calls. The third one is, do they have parties set up for their first week? I don't care how many it is. Like, yes, I want 4, but do they have 1, 2, 3, or 4? Just so I can help get them going.
Okay, cool. Seeing this question a couple of times, do you contact or have follow-up with your whole downline regularly, or are you doing this with just your first generation?
I only do follow up with my personal team. It's everyone else's responsibility to train their recruits.
And you're working with your directors so that they know this and that they're comfortable.
Oh yeah, they know. I'm sure some of them are on the call. They're like, oh yeah, Bekah does not train our people. So.
I love this. When you have your host post recruiting posts like the fast track Q&A, what do you have them say in that post?
So I just have them say like, oh my gosh, this has been such a fun week. I'm sure you can tell how much Bekah loves her Pamper Chef business. Comment, she's letting me give 50 points away for each question you ask about being a consultant. So ask her your questions.
Love that. Another good question. Are you getting into personal information and details in that group call or that first 30-minute call, or what are you covering in that call?
In the group call, just depend. I've given my directors instructions, just depending on the size of the group, to either have them respond via the chat or to go ahead and unmute them. If it's a small group with only 6 to 8 or less new consultants, I think that's appropriate to get a little bit of feedback from them. But if it's more than that, just to have them comment through the chat, and we should be instructing them to do Dash anyways, which should cover that. So not too much on that.
Awesome. With the special this month, is there a specific script that you have in place for your new recruits to start asking others to join their team also? That's a great question.
Yeah, I try to be very transparent with whatever I'm doing in my personal business. I'll go live on my organizational page of like, wow, guys, I just got a recruit by doing this. And so I do share what I'm doing to help give them ideas. And but really, they need to make their words their own. You know, so like if you were talking to someone about this $19 kit, what would you say? And truly whatever you say is going to be right for that person. Because if you say what I say, it's not going to be right. Because I'm some 26-year-old from Texas. Like, it's just not going to sound right if you say what I say. So I try to give ideas for what they can say.
Love that. One last question before we wrap things up, Bekah. If you had a new team member who joined last week and they recruited somebody right away, say they have already recruited their first team member, how are you getting them into this system? Because they're all brand new together.
Yeah, I treat them like my own. And that's something that I share with my new recruits is, listen, I don't want you to be afraid of recruiting because you don't know what you're doing. Okay, so whenever you add someone to your team, I'm going to train them with you until you feel confident enough to train your new recruits yourself. So you have no reason to not recruit someone right away. I want to give them that confidence. So if I do have someone who, anytime I have a team member of my own recruit someone for the first time, I offer to do their training together with them, or I have them look over the script and they can read through it and decide if they feel confident enough to do it on their own.
I love that. I think that's tremendous support. And clearly your systems and the tips that you've offered us today are working well for you and for your organization. Bekah, I can't thank you enough for sharing with us today and giving us just this little segment of your time. I know you're so, so busy running that amazing organization. So thank you again, everyone. We will share the replay with you. So if you had questions that didn't get answered or wanted to hear something again, I know I saw several comments in the chat about, can you repeat this, or what were the unit names? You'll be able to catch that replay, pause it, and start it over again and get all of this amazing information from Bekah. So we wish you all the best in the rest of the month of March. We know it's already amazing and you guys are doing wonderful things. So thank you again, Bekah, and thanks to all of you
Thank you.
for joining us today. Have a good month, everyone.
Bye.